regarding these matters. I feel that I will be vindicated, and I look forward to doing that. I hope the media will cover that with the enthusiasm that they do the mere allegations. One thing of particular concern to me, though, is the attention paid to my family members in this. You know, they have done nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong, and certainly don't deserve the scrutiny that I do. I welcome a complete and thorough dissection of my term and my actions, but I think that many times people get injured in this process, and that's a sad thing. My report on crime. Crime is down overall in the city of Los Angeles. Part 1 crime down just below 5%. We have had an uptick in aggravated assaults. They're up 14.8% compared to last year and 9.6% compared to 2012. We've also had a increase in rapes. Part of that is due to the reporting change in the category by the FBI this year. It's up 8.5% compared to 13, down 1.4% compared to 12. Property crime is down across the board. Shootings down in the city. Victims shot down 14%. Reports of shots fired down 9.2%. 3 of our 4 bureaus show Part 1 crime decreases. The only increase is a 0.2% increase in Central Bureau. And of course, we're looking at that at CompStat. That's primarily driven by the ag assault category that we talked about earlier. Categorical uses of force are down in the city of Los Angeles. That's major force incidents involving police officers. They're down 38%. Officer-involved shootings are also down. 16 this year compared to 30 last year at this time, 46.7% reduction. Gang crime is down 12.1%, led by a reduction in gang homicides of 17.6%. Homicides overall in the city are down 9.4%. Traffic accidents, total traffic collisions are up about 2%. Alcohol-related traffic collisions are down 7.3%. Hit and runs, which has been a primary target of our enforcement efforts this year, are down 4.9%. And major fatality-involved hit and runs are down 27%. Motor vehicle versus pedestrians are down 2.2%. And bicycle-involved traffic accidents are down 12%. Personnel statistics, we have 9,901 sworn personnel on payroll, 2,721 civilian personnel with 608 vacancies, 267 level 1 reserve police officers, 21 level 2s, 133 level 3s, 372 specialist volunteers, 64 chaplain counselors, and 5,447 cadets in our cadet program. That concludes my report.
Chief, will you talk about what's going on tonight, the National Night of...
Sure, absolutely.
It's quite a citywide celebration.
This is National Night Out, the annual event where communities come together. It's certainly in keeping with the goals of this department, which are to bring communities together through effective and constitutional policing. Every division has activities for National Night Out, and there are several large-scale activities that are occurring. One will be at the Greek Theater. I'll be attending that one, and I'm certain that the mayor will also be attending several events, including those in the Valley.
Although I don't use recreational or medical marijuana, I am going to Stoner Recreation Center for the celebration there this evening.
Thank you.
Any comment, Chief?
Over 2 on jokes.
Okay, we're now on item number 4, the report of the Executive Director, Mr. T-Fink.
Morning, Mr. President, members of the Commission. No report today.
Item number 5, the report of the Inspector General, Mr. Bustamante.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just as a matter of background, as the Commission knows, but I think maybe the public is not aware, that anytime there's a complaint against the chief, whether there's the matters of substance or of just rumor or gossip, It's not the department that investigates this at all. It automatically comes to my shop. My investigators, who are not part of the department, will conduct the investigation and then provide our analysis and our report to the commission for their view so they can evaluate the chief. On to other items, as I often do, is talk about some of the community-based activities that we're involved in. 2 Sundays ago, myself and one of my staff were involved in the Interfaith event at the Iman Center, where several religious leaders from across the Los Angeles County got together and discussed and tried to find ways to make sure that their diverse communities, religious communities, were able to work together in solving some of the issues that have often torn apart the communities on religious lines. Also, thanks to Chief Beck and also Chief Downing, I will be meeting with MPAC and some of their young leaders at the Fusion Center to go through that process, and then afterwards they have a long discussion about our upcoming SARS audit and what we plan to review with the department. I thank the Chief, and I thank for Chief Downing for making all the documents and all the people available for us to do our review on that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Item number 6 consists of information items and filed items relative to noise variances and special event permits submitted for the period ending August 1st, 2014. Item number 7, presentations. Do we have any presentations?
None today.
Thank you. Item number 8 is the consent agenda items. These items are considered to be routine and non-controversial, upon which the board is provided with adequate information for approval without inquiry or discussion. Would a commissioner wish to pull an item as special for discussion, 8A through 8D?
Move approval of items 8A through 8D.
Second, with thanks to the donors. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We are now on item number 9, regular agenda items. Would a commissioner wish to pull an item as special for discussion, 9A through 9C?
Move approval of items 9A through 9C.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We are now on item number 10, public comment period. We have 3 comment cards. We have Sergeant Kathy Marks. We have an additional card, yes.
Good morning to all of you. 8 months ago today, I went to the Inspector General and reported many of the things that you are now reading about the newspaper. Nothing's been done. 4 months ago today, I came in here and reported administrative corruption by the Chief of Police and Internal Affairs. Still nothing has been done. After hearing about the favoritism regarding Sean Hillman, fraudulent ghost car issues, DUI captains, rigged boards of rights, the nepotism involved in selling the Beck family horse to the mounted unit and then assigning the daughter there to ride her own horse, nothing has been done. I wish my dad was the chief of police. I'd like to work in the mounted unit too. Nothing has been done. This police commission still has done nothing. The truth of the matter is the police commission and the Inspector General exist to protect citizens from out-of-control police officers. Who's responsible to protect the cops from out-of-control command staff and their very own chief? No one. Why is it that is why our officers have no recourse but to file lawsuits, and why this city pays out millions of dollars every year to officers who have been mistreated by the command staff who repeatedly violate their own department policy. Why are our officers held to a higher standard than are their supervisors? Officers get fired for lying. Officers get fired for driving drunk. Why does not the same rule apply to the command staff? A corporate CEO would have been fired by now. What does it take before something is done? Thank you.
Detective David Nunez.
Morning, David.
Oh, good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Honorable members of the Police Commission, I am here to tell you, on behalf of great many officers of this department, that Chief Beck's selective, situational, and convenient enforcement of the rules has brought such deceit to the disciplinary process that employees and members of the public no longer have faith or confidence in the fairness of the system. There is no justification to give him another chance to fix the problem. He squandered his chance over the past 5 years. The Commission is well aware of the corrupt trends, patterns reflected in some of the published cases. For instance, Sean Hillman, Detective Liga, and friends, as reported by the LA Times. But do you know about the many command officers who perjured themselves in civil cases for which the city pays out large sums of money, yet because of their relationships with the chief, they were never held accountable? These are the kinds of double standards that have caused the employees to lose faith with the system. This type of double standard, hypocrisy, and public deceit has become a commonplace under Chief Beck's administration and should no longer be accepted or tolerated by the Commission or the Mayor. Our officers also deserve a chief of police who makes disciplinary decisions that are fair, impartial, and are based on the facts of unbiased, objective investigations. Officers have the right to a discipline system that is fair and objective. It is not acceptable that the rank and file get fired for a DUI incident while a command staff member gets a ride home and no penalty. It is not acceptable that the rank and file is held to a higher standard of conduct than the command staff is. The command staff is supposed to be our leaders. What message does it send when the command staff is above the law and not held accountable? The tone of any organization is set by the people at the top. The blatant double standard and arbitrary discipline system is extremely bad for morale and leads to the only recourse officers have, civil litigations. For years, this chief has demonstrated a pattern of...
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you. Wayne Guillory.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, honorable members of the Board of Police Commissioners. I am Sergeant Wayne Guillory, and I'm presently assigned to Northeast Division Uniform Patrol. I'm here this morning as a tenured member of the LAPD with more than 30 years of service to lend my support to Captain Peter Whittingham and Sergeant Kathy Marks. I'm also here on behalf of the African American officers to raise awareness that in the LAPD, race matters. I'm here in hopes of stirring the soul, conscience, and morality of who we are, what we are, and what we have become as a result of the matters between black and white. In the LAPD, race has a far-reaching impact on the relationships between black and white officers. Whatever affects one group directly will eventually affect the other group indirectly. Chief Beck made a costly decision when he spared Officer Sean Hillman for being terminated from the LAPD. Chief Beck knew or should have known that as a result of his decision in holding on to Officer Hillman, he was gambling, and with his own words, with the ghosts of LAPD's past. He knew or should have known that the ghosts of LAPD's past was going to strain the fragile relationship between African American officers and the organization that is known for its apathy toward African American officers experiencing racism within the LAPD. I can assure you that the majority of African American officers in the LAPD share my view. Within the LAPD, race matters. Under the leadership of Chief Beck, African American officers cannot communicate with one another on matters of race, racism, and discrimination. I'm certain that many of my African American colleagues will agree with me that we have no one we can trust or turn to for help and assistance in the LAPD while dealing with matters on race, racism, and discrimination. In closing, as commissioners, you are in a position of power to reflect on the ghosts of LAPD's past. Many officers of all ethnic and gender groups have lost faith in the LAPD system. Race is not just about America. It's LAPD's biggest dilemma. Unfortunately, the struggle continues, but it's my greatest hope that we can rise above employee discrimination and racism within the LAPD. And I call upon you to be our voice and demand the release of a 10,000-vote focus group survey.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Dr. Vicki Huffnell.
Good morning. I need your help. Reverence for law. Albert Einstein, remember, said reverence for life. In order to have reverence for life, we have to have law, and we have to have enforcement. And we're lacking it here in Los Angeles in our financial crimes division. In 2010, I brought in documents showing that Lance Anderson of Novastar was committing crimes by stealing home loans, stealing them, and no one understood the concept. Detective Bailo, who I gave him all the names, all the informants that I had gathered, every piece of data, never investigated. On July 11th this year, I have the actual documents showing how stealing loans happened. Lance Anderson destroyed our country, and you should all know his name. We need Financial Crimes Division because St. Pierre, I spoke to him over and over again, couldn't get the concept of what a widespread yield was and how that took your home loan from $300 to $3,000 in billing to $60,000. That's how we got into our crisis. I need every one of you to be Teddy, to carry that strong stick, but have the soft voice. This is a RICO crime. You are sitting on multi-millions of dollars in this county, in this city for RICO crimes. Lance Anderson sent out marketing. He told the brokers, oh, you don't have to make a new loan. Just open your file, take out the loan, cancel the loan, use identity theft, say you're the person, cancel the loan, refill the forms, and bring them to us, Novastar. That's RICO. That's racketeering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and there are no other public comment cards. We will now go to item number 11, closed session. The Board of Police Commissioners will now recess into closed session to discuss item numbers 10A, 1, and 2 in accordance with Government Code 54957.
I gotta go to the Laugh Factory.
It's a little messy, man. Move it. Make sure. Oh, snap. Marcel, come on.
Hands up, drop the cat. We got suspects running northbound. Vandalism suspect running northbound. Keep your hands all right. Get your hands up all right. Get your hands off your hips and spread your feet.
All right, let's put him in the
Good. Just have your hand in your back. Watch your head.
Come on, man.
What it is, my name's Shy, Miss Fly, if you nasty. I'm a superstar, baby, ask about me.
As a business owner, how it affects me is it really puts a knife in the heart of somebody that has worked so hard in a business to create something positive for a community and then have to deal with a tag that'll be there forever unless money is spent to correct it.
If you can look at some of our designs here at the club, this is just one example of what we can do with the art of graffiti. If you take it and you exploit it through the negative sense, where there's tagging crews, disrespect the community and disrespect others and try to take over a neighborhood or something like that. I think that's negative. I think it's rude, and it shouldn't happen.
The impact that graffiti has on a specific community is it instills fear among the residents. In addition, it doesn't look good. It looks horrible in the community, and if we can get the message out to the taggers out in our community and let them know how much of an impact it has on residents, schools, businesses, police officers, it has a tremendous negative impact on the community. So we need to get them to realize that and try to find other means to do graffiti.
Sure, we can paint out your tags, we can paint out the graffiti, but the energy that it takes to build a business in a community is so much. So when you tag somebody's building, you're really hurting the person behind it, and you need to know that.
You can make it to where it's controlled and people can admire it and love it, and see to it that it is an actual art, and it's not negative.
You know what I always tell kids when I arrest them for vandalism and graffiti? I always ask them, is there anything that you have that means something to you, whether it be an iPod, your room, something that you value and love? And how would you feel if we caught you tagging and we went in and decided, okay, well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and tag and destroy your property that you've either worked hard for, gotten a good grade to earn, something like that. How would you feel if we went and just tore your room apart and destroyed it, graffitied all over your room, on your property? How would that make you feel? And I put it back on them. And then a lot of times they can kind of, develop an understanding in their mind of what you're actually talking about and what kind of impact it's having. Starting off in tagging sometimes leads to marijuana use, drug use, hanging out with gang members, and it just, from then on, drinking, and then it just leads into all types of criminal activity. So it's kind of a little gateway onto violent crimes.
It really makes me feel sad that kids have to do graffiti, especially gangs. You have to write on the wall. So for someone to know that they were there, it makes no sense. It just gets everybody in trouble.
Yeah, it makes it look bad. I mean, you're right there trying to represent your own city, San Pedro, but then in the other case, you're making it look bad, like it's a really bad city, what are you going to get out of it? People knowing your name, and what happens if you get caught? You're going to get a ticket and fined, stuff like that. Just go to court and then have a bad record. There's no good thing.
In January